What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Women Behind the Weights podcast. Yes, I have a gentleman here today. Lots of gentlemen on our podcast recently. Major was on the last one. We have Lige with us today. So we're just gonna, I guess, kind of shoot the S word. I know, is this an explicit podcast? I'm not sure. But this is Lige. He is our strategic growth consultant. We just brought him on to help our organic marketing and B2B partnerships at both of our studios. We're excited to have him. And honestly, today we're just going to do a little Q&A. You're going to ask me some questions about me so you guys can learn a little bit about me. You guys got a quick recap or a quick note about Marcia on the last episode with Major. So hopefully I can share a little bit about me this time. And I'm also going to ask a little bit about Lige.
Welcome to the Women Behind the Weights podcast, where we empower and inspire women to lift both weights and their voices. Each week, we explore the incredible journeys of women who are breaking barriers in the fitness world and making their mark. Join us for insightful discussions, inspiring stories, and practical tips that you can apply in your own life. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just starting your fitness journey, there's something here for everyone. Tune in to discover the stories that will ignite your passion, uplift your spirit, and remind you that you are LadyStrong. Let's lift each other up, one conversation at a time.
So my first question is, for those who may not know you yet, who is Lige beyond the title of strategic growth consultant? What's your story and what shaped how you lead today?
Okay, that's a loaded question coming right out the gate, huh? So who am I? I would classify myself as more so a jack of all trades, right? I believe that knowledge is power. And so what I like to do is I like to hold myself to a standard of just learning and educating myself, within different spaces, just so it equips me, with the tools needed to essentially, grow and go through life, right? Just because we're faced with several, trials and tribulations throughout our lifetime, and you need certain skills and skill set in order to overcome, those things.
For sure.
I guess what I like to do in my free time is I like to work out.
Yeah, welcome to the club.
I like to work out. I love community. I love adding value to the community. I love networking, getting to know people and their story, and essentially build relationships and see how I can add value to those relationships.
Yes.
So
You're also a dad.
I am a dad. I have two girls. I have two girls. I have a 10-year-old and she's in dance. And then I have a 2-year-old Kaya Dior. So very busy, but they're blessings that I can most definitely, give all thanks to God for. So
I love that. Okay, your turn.
All right, Brittany. All right. So obviously you guys are leaders within a fitness community, right? Including young women.
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity to have a conversation with an 18 to 20-year-old Brittany, what advice would you give her?
Oh, Lord. Honestly, 18 to 20-year-old me was very stuck in where I was at the time. Like, I just didn't think that there was any, it was kind of like, I feel like it's the normal Midwestern, like small town mentality, right? Like, you're going to go to college, you're going to get married, you're going to have kids. And like, that's just what you're going to live on a farm. And that's just what it's going to be. And that's where I really was at that period in my life. And my mind wasn't opened to other opportunities. It wasn't open to even moving out of the state of South Dakota. It was just, that's where I was always going to be. And I was very close-minded. So if I could go back and have a conversation with myself at that point in my life, I would say, take the blinders off. Like, don't be afraid to seek new opportunities, to move, to grow, to learn, to not be so quick to, follow the status quo of family or your friends or the people that were around you. Because I feel like my journey in this part of my life would have started sooner had I not been so closed-minded so early on in my life. So that's definitely what I would say.
Okay, so getting out of your shell and what people just expect for you to do, right?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I think it's just a lot of like, when you grow up in a small town, it's just, there's not a lot of opportunities there. So all you see is what you see every day, right? You go to school, you come home, like you meet with the same people, you go to football games, basketball games with the same people, you're around the same people all the time. And everybody is just living in the same, like you're looking in your own little like ecosystem and you just don't even know the world that's outside of that. And that can be hard for people because some people just like, they try to get out of it and then they want to go back. And even when I left South Dakota, I was scared shitless. I was scared, but I knew it was an opportunity I needed to take. And I would say, I wish I would have done that sooner. I wish I would have done that when I left college. Or when I left high school. I wish I would have gone to college somewhere else. I wish I would have done all those things, but hindsight's 2020.
Okay. And then when you were making that transition, how comfortable was that piece? Because obviously within the fitness industry, taking that first step and that leap, and you have all these different fears, so how did you navigate? Or if it was uncomfortable, how did you navigate through that?
Yeah, I think it was very uncomfortable because I am a creature of habit by nature. Like I'm also very introverted by nature, contrary to popular belief. And so getting out and being in a brand new place, in a brand new city, in a brand new everything was very nerve-wracking for me because I never had to go out and make new friends. I never had to go out and I never had to do any of that because I was so close to all of the people that I grew up in high school with and I went to college with. We were all in the same area. So it wasn't like I ever had to go out and do those things.
Right.
When I went to college, I knew people. So it wasn't like we were just kind of all hung out together. So it was really uncomfortable. Navigating it was a challenge, but I knew my happiness depended on it. Like it definitely depended on me making that uncomfortable decision. So I think it's the same way just in fitness in general is that like at the end of the day, you're going to be uncomfortable, but your happiness, your confidence, your self-esteem, the version of yourself that you're in search for is worth it. So you're just going to have to do it.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. Next up. You're known as Mr. 1% on Instagram. That's his handle. You have to go find him. Can you break down what that actually means and how that philosophy shows up in your life and work?
Okay, cool. Now, I've never been asked that question before. For a while, it was Dream Chaser. For about 12 years, I actually have a tattoo that says Dream Chaser. Yeah. Obviously, it speaks for itself. Yeah. But as I started to evolve and, you grow and you outgrow certain things, I changed it to Mr. 1% because my goal, my personal goal and the standard that I hold for myself is to grow 1% every single day, right? And so it's just compound interest, learning something that you didn't know yesterday, meeting, a new person that you didn't know the day prior. So, and just, continue that growth in that space. Yeah. And obviously I'm a competitor, right? Having a athletic background like Major, I'm just naturally competitive. And so what my personal objective is whatever thing that I'm doing or goal that I'm after, I want to be in the top 1%.
I love that.
So it's two different concepts, but the same meaning.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's perfect. And I think that's a good question to ask because a lot of people have different definitions of like the 1%, whether it's like that's how you want to get in a financial status. You want to be in the 1% in the financial status or like your success. I always say I'm the same way as you, like I want to be 1% better every day. And I tell our ladies that a lot, like people that I work with or, ladies that get frustrated. I'm just like, all you need is 1% better every day. You don't need to make leaps and bounds of changes every 24 hours. Right. Like that's really not a lot of time. Like give yourself some grace and just be a little bit better every single day. So I love that. I think it ties really well into what we do at LadyStrong and what we preach a lot. So
100%. Okay. All right. Obviously, you've been in this space for a while. So what would you say are some skills that you've developed while growing LSF that allowed you to grow outside of the gym?
Yeah, for sure. A backbone. Like business will humble you really quickly. Running a small business, bootstrapping everything from the ground up, not having millions of dollars in the bank, not having financial backing, like really just doing this all on your own and sacrificing a lot of personal money, time, energy, relationships. It has given me a backbone. I can handle things a lot better than I used to. I can handle stress, change, tough conversations, things like that. I handle that a lot better now. I handle it with a lot more patience, a lot more grace because I've had to. I've been put in positions where I have no choice. And so that's the biggest thing for me is that there's not a lot of things that bother me anymore. I still get anxiety about a lot of decisions that I have to make, conversations I have to have. But at the end of the day, I'm in the mentality of the belief that I just have to do it if I'm going to create impact, create empowerment, and create a future for LadyStrong and for myself and for my future family and for Marcia. Like I have to, just have that backbone. So it's absolutely number one thing that I feel like I have gained.
For sure. And for those that's not in the business space, could you explain bootstrapping a little bit and risk associated with that?
For sure. That's a good question. So when you bootstrap a business, you pretty much like do it from scratch. Like you're just kind of scraping and scratching and trying to like, whether it's friends and family that are giving you money, whether it's like high interest loans that you're taking out, whether, all these things that you're just trying to figure out, like or you're working multiple jobs, which I did when we first started. I had other jobs outside of LadyStrong so that we could still make money, but also still run the gym, like all these things. Marcia did the same thing, like she was personal training. So it's like, you just kind of have to scrape and scrounge to build something great. So it's funny because the first book that Marcia and I ever read was called The Power of Broke by Damon John. In that book, he talks about how he built FUBU from the ground up. He bootstrapped it. He did crazy things to build that business. And that's where it came from, was that mentality of the power of broke. We used to read that book every day on the way to the gym. So we would go and we would have to coach class. So every morning we would be on the way to the gym at like 4 a.m. to coach the 5 a.m. class. And we would take turns. Like whoever was driving would listen, whoever was in the passenger seat would read. And we just always read. And we finished that book just driving back and forth from the gym.
So this wasn't something that you guys were just handed to you. You literally took everything that you had, your energy, your finances, and you kind of came together to make this a reality.
Yes. And you still have to continue to do that even as you get bigger, even as you grow. That hasn't changed.
Right.
That didn't change when we started Geneva. We had to do the same thing. And so it's not like you just had one business and poof, you have another one. It actually was harder. It actually has put Marcia and I in a more challenging position personally with having 2 gyms. It is a ton of risk for us to have, but we wholeheartedly believe that in the vision and the mission of this business, in our community, in our team. And we know that it's going to be something big someday. And we're just working to that payoff.
Okay. I love that.
Awesome.
I love that.
My turn. Okay, this is a good one. What stood out to you about LadyStrong Fitness and what made you want to step into this role with us?
One thing, I'm a big energy guy, right? Mm-hmm. If I step into a space, I can immediately know if it's for me, if it's not for me, right? Mm-hmm. And I would say just the overall commitment that you and Marcia have within the gym and working out, that was the number one thing, right? It's just, I was able to connect with you guys on a more personal level. And it inspired me, even, someone that's been in the gym for 13 years or so and consistently working out. It's like, oh, they're on it, right? They're disciplined. And I like to surround myself around those type of people, right? So the first time, I was around your team and the company culture was your guys' grand opening last year. And just the investment that you made and the type of people that you had there. And then you extended your hands with open arms with local, other small businesses to get their exposure, right? So it wasn't just about LadyStrong Fitness. It was about how can we serve Geneva, the town, the community, having, government officials come out and being a part of that whole, celebration. So I'm like, this is a place that's going to grow. This is a place where I get a good energy from. And then as we started to expand our relationship and we getting introduced to the Schaumburg team as well as the Geneva team, just immediately, as soon as you step into both buildings, you have that, I guess, that uniform connection of positivity and everyone's so upbeat. And it's very rare that you get to walk into a place like a gym and have such, I guess, an internal, experience like that. So I'm like, you know what? I would love to be a part of this.
That's awesome. I love that. And I shout out to, honestly, Marcia. She's the one that put the whole grand opening together and she's an incredible party planner. If you ever need a party planner, give her a call because she's great at it. It was really fun to be able to connect with the community in Geneva in that way. But our team is incredible. I mean, I say that all the time and I can't say it enough at how incredible of a team that we have, of people who just deeply care about our mission, about our communities, and just about bettering themselves and wanting to just see LadyStrong be successful. And I'm glad that you picked up on that in both studios, because if you know anything about building a team or running a business, that is the thing that will make or break you. And yes, we have had some challenging team members on our team before. We have gone through a lot of struggles and trials with hiring and things like that. And I'm just really excited about the team that we have. So I'm really glad that you picked up on that when you came in.
Of course. Wouldn't have it any other way. I don't know about you, but there are some days where I do not want to step foot in the gym. I just don't want to do it, whether it's working all day, whether it's being busy with the girls, whether it's dance, or there's so many different things that can kind of tire you both mentally and physically. So I'm talking to Brittany here. How do you hold yourself accountable and disciplined?
So it's interesting because I was just having a conversation with a client on a Zoom call. And we were talking about this, about like how a lot of people who are starting out, like for me, working out wasn't easy. It never came easy to me. I had to really try. I had to go take classes. I had to go do things. And because I've been doing it for so long, it's not just part of a routine. But now on the days where I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I really don't want to go, I remind myself how good I feel after I'm done. And a lot of times I also say to myself, like, at the end of the day, I may not hit a PR. I may not be as strong as I was yesterday when I go in there, but at least I'm moving my body and at least I'm doing something and I know I'll feel good afterwards. I also remember how guilty I feel when I don't, because I've come to the point now in my own personal journey that if I don't go, I feel lazy. That's just how I feel. I'm like, oh my gosh, my day's almost not complete. You know what I'm saying? I will say I work out in the morning. Like I have to get it done in the morning. I'm not like an evening workout person. I'm like, by the end of the day, I want to be done. And I had really good advice once. Shout out to Coach Majari. She told me this once. She's like, you know what? This is why people should work out in the morning, is because your decision-making power is the strongest right away in the morning. Reason being is that you have to make so many decisions all day. What do I eat? I'm at work. I have to decide this. I have to decide that. What am I going to have for breakfast? Like you have to make so many decisions throughout the day that by the time you get to making the decision of going to the gym, you're done. You're like, I don't want to have to do this. And a lot of times that's why people don't go. So if you can get it done right, and that's the first decision that you make for yourself in the morning is to go to the gym, it's going to be the easiest one you make all day, because it's the first one that you make. And when she said that, I was like, I don't know why I never thought of that before, but that is so smart. And it's the truth. So that's honestly part of the reason why I work out in the morning. Because I'm just like, let me just get this over with. Let me just get it done. Even if I don't want to, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go through the motions. I'm going to move my body and then and be done with it. That's just how I do it.
So essentially, you took that first step of, I guess, building the habit, building a routine, right? And then after that, it just turns into who you are.
Yeah.
So, when you're deciding to make that commitment to yourself to get into the fitness space and improve yourself, the first step is to create that habit, and then eventually it will just all fall in line, and then it'll be easier along the way.
Yes. And you can't expect it to be easy. It's not easy right away. It's not easy, especially if you're not used to it, or you're not used to doing it, or if you're not an athletic person. A lot of times I always say, like, people who are athletes in another life have a leg up on those of us who are not athletes in another life. Because when you're an athlete, you are used to going to practice. You're used to showing up. You're used to being in a routine. You're used to discipline. And I don't think that ever goes away, because I think that's you're born with that kind of an ability. But for the average person, the average woman who maybe doesn't have that background, getting up and going working out is hard. Like, it is hard. So it is one of those things that you just have to put one foot in front of the other, going back to the 1%. You just have to be 1% better every day. And with those workouts, it's the same thing. You just got to be 1% better every day with it.
Discipline over motivation. Love it.
For sure. Yes. That's a good one. Okay. Next one I have for you is, when you look at this role and what we're building, what do you see as the bigger vision? And how do you think this will impact not just our members, but the communities that we serve?
Brand and value, having that balance, right? I believe, and I told you and Marcia this, I don't think that this is just a gym. The ladies come and they work out, but they build connections, they build relationships. You never know, especially, being in the space that we're in, you just never know what people may be going through. And just serving as an outlet, and a healthy outlet, right? To that point, that's very rare, and that's value within itself. And I've seen the way that you care about not only just the LadyStrong Fitness staff in both locations, but I've seen the way that you guys communicate with your members, right? And you guys kind of hold them accountable to their goals when sometimes they're not in a position to push themselves, right? And those are qualities that you're not able to get everywhere else. And not only that, but going back to your guys' grand opening and even strengthening the partnerships that, you guys have established over the years in Schaumburg, it's like, okay, what can we do to better those partnerships? What are some value adds that we can implement within those relationships? So it's just coming together and creating a unique experience and a unique culture in both the fitness space and outside the fitness space, and really giving back, right? Because especially in today's world, there's a lot of businesses that are only focused on the dollar, and that's not what LadyStrong Fitness is. LadyStrong Fitness is a place where you're going to come and you're going to achieve certain goals that you have for yourself as an individual, but then also have, the opportunity to build a strong relationship with those that have the similar goals as you, because you want to be able to put yourself in a room with people that have similar goals as you
Yeah.
to get to where you want to be long term.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with that. And I think we love partnering with other small businesses because we grow together. What's the word I'm looking for? I just feel like sometimes when you connect with other businesses, they just don't care. Like they just don't care to be connected with you, or like you're not big enough or this and that. For me, I'm like, we grow in numbers. You know, we grow when we partner with each other. And at the end of the day, if there's a way that we can help you and you can help us, why not? Why wouldn't we do that? And plus, if it's a partnership that we feel like is going to benefit our community, it just makes sense. And if we're a partnership that's going to benefit your community, you're not only going to have something that's going to help your brand and your business, but it's also going to help your community, which is huge. As a small business, you want to take care of your customers. Them coming back is what matters the most. It's the lifeblood of your business is repeat customers. And so if you can find ways to keep them involved and support them in other areas of their lives outside of the gym, you become more valuable to that person. And you're not just another number on their credit card statement every month. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we want, is we want to be that thing that people feel like they can't live without. Not because it's selfish, but because we know that we can do that and we can provide that kind of support for our members. And we can be that place for them to be their one-stop shop. That you don't have to go anywhere else. We're going to give you those connections. We're going to give you those partnerships. We're going to make sure that you're taken care of, not only here at the studio, but outside of it as well. It's a huge piece for us. So I really see that that's where this partnership is going to go, and how we're just going to be able to expand upon that. So yeah.
For sure. And is it your turn? My turn?
Your turn.
All right. All right. Going back to the culture of LadyStrong Fitness, just because I feel like that's the foundation, right? Culture is really everything. Just walking into both studios, I immediately felt that there was a certain type of vibe and positive culture between the members and the staff as well, which is completely different than what I'm used to personally. How were you guys able to cultivate such a family-like culture within both studios?
Oh my goodness, this is a good question. I really believe it started with Marcia and I. I really think that at the end of the day, culture starts with ownership. It does. We were really involved right away with our membership base really early on, and we've been very involved with our team ever since we've been growing it and building it. So it's big, right? So culture comes from the top down. Point blank period, it comes from you to your team to your clients. So if you can hold the culture, your team is going to hold the culture, and your community will feel that. That's number one. Number two is our team. A lot of our team members were members in our community before they were part of our team, which I think is also really big because they were part of that community and culture. So they know how to build it. They know how to create it. They know how to make it thrive because they were once part of it, which I think is really helpful too. Also at the same time, Marcia and I really, really, really do our best as we continue to grow to make sure that people know that we are still very connected to the business. We may not be there every day. We may not be in the studios all the time, but we are still in it. We hear from our team. We check on our members. We stay connected in the Facebook groups. We stay connected on social media. We stay connected with our team and what's going on in both of the gyms with our members. We're not out of it. We're very much in it. And so if there are culture issues, we're the first people to know about it. We're the first people to course correct. But a lot of it was built on the backs of Marcia and I. And I think it's just it's funneled down through our team and now into our community. And I really believe that that's one of the things that there's a lot of business coaches and fitness business coaches and gurus out there that are like, it's not your community. I beg to differ. I disagree. I disagree. I think our community is by far one of the best communities that is out there. I might be a little biased, but that is something that is always talked about in anybody who comes in our gyms.
For sure.
Members, non-members, people who come in from other businesses, they say the same thing. Like they just feel like that culture and community, it feels like family. And that's intentional.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome. Good questions, by the way. I like the ones that make me think. Okay. What does your own fitness routine look like right now? And how has your relationship with fitness evolved over time?
Throughout my athletic career and being in the gym, I've tried several different routines, right? There's so many different programs out there, right? The most common would be like the PPL, push, pull, leg split, working out 6 days a week. And I guess I got accustomed to that, but I started to utilize the fitness app that you have your clients on. I'm on day 3, and girl, let me tell you, it's different. It is very different, and it's very extremely uncomfortable. But going back to, your point earlier about embracing that uncomfortable feeling and being open to change and being open-minded, that's something that I had to dig deep, within myself. And this is a part of who I am, right? So it's kind of like, oh man, I'm changing my whole identity here. And I'm on day 3, which is not a lot, but I can most definitely feel the difference, physically and mentally. And it allows me to track my progress when it comes to like how strong I'm getting, right? Because within the app, there's certain features that you can take advantage of to really, you can track metrics and see where you are, because you can kind of show up to a gym, especially after you've been doing it for a while. It just becomes routine, monotonous, right? You not really a lot of brain power, and then you become stagnant, right? So obviously, with us being competitive and just continuing to want to grow and bettering ourselves, that comes with change. And so far, I've been able to see where I am, but then also where the potential that I can go. Because when you're working out every day or 6 days a week or whatever it is, you kind of accept where you are, right? It's like, okay, this is where I am. I'm not extremely overweight, but I'm not super fit. I'm mediocre, and I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with that, right? So you've presented me with a tool and gave me the opportunity to utilize your background and your knowledge. And I know how much work that you guys have, put in for this app. And I'm excited to see where I'm going to be in the next 6 weeks. I would say that. And I can't say that I felt that way in such a long time. And so where I want to be is obviously maintain my strength, if not grow it, and decrease my body fat, and just continue to elevate and see where I can be when I reach my full potential.
I love the app. And it's one of the reasons why we wanted you to be on it. Because obviously when you're talking to other businesses and other people, you want to know all the tools that we have. But it is a really cool app. And you're right. Like when you work out for so long, you almost are just on autopilot. Like it's just something that you do. You just show up to the gym, you do your workout, you leave, and that's what it is. It can be really hard to like stay motivated sometimes. So with the app, what's awesome about it is being able to track your progress every week. Like you can track your weight, so you know what you lifted the last week versus this week. It shows you what PRs you have. Like it tracks how many workouts you do. Like if you have an Apple Watch or a Fitbit or a Garmin, that attaches to the app as well. So it pulls all your stats in from there. Just gives you a lot of data and metrics. And it almost gamifies it for you. That gets you excited about fitness again. Because you're like, okay, now I have something to like look forward to, because I really just want to see how far I can progress on this. So I think that that's what's great for the members to be able to use this, is like they can also track their progress. And that keeps people motivated. Like sometimes that just in and of itself motivates people to be like, okay, I want to keep coming back because I want to see where I can go with this. And that's one of the reasons why we do it, is because a lot of people get bored with fitness really quickly, especially when you're new, like, and especially when you're not seeing changes physically. You can just start to peter out because you're like, okay, this isn't working. So we try to give a lot of different tools and metrics and things that we track so that that boredom or that plateau or those things or that frustration doesn't happen. So good. Glad you're right.
Of course. Yeah. Good way to track your ROI as well.
Absolutely.
This is an interesting one. Who is your hero or heroes and why?
Oh, this is going to sound really cheesy, but I'm definitely going to use Marcia as one of them. I met Marcia in South Dakota. She was actually my personal trainer when I met her. And then we became friends and we worked out together. And obviously we grew a relationship and a bond with each other. And she's the one that really challenged me to come here and also has pushed me to be who I am today. Willingly or not, intentionally or not on her part, I think she is really tough on me. Like she is. She really challenges my thought processes. She challenges my beliefs. She challenges everything that I'm very risk averse. She is not. So she pushes my boundaries, not only in my personal life, but in my business acumen, in the gym. Like she's always that person that will never lie to me, and she will always tell me the truth as much as I hate it. She does not sugarcoat things with me. And I think that going back to me talking about having a backbone, that's one of the reasons why I do, is because I have a partner in life and in business who holds me to a higher standard. And you can't ask for anything better in a relationship, to be honest with you. It's really important to have somebody like that, because I'm naturally the kind of person who will just stay the same. I just like the status quo. I'm what you call a steady Eddie. I just like things steady, right? And Marcia doesn't. And it's so good to have her. So she's definitely one of them. I would definitely say my stepdad, Rick, is somebody who I really look up to. He's a very good business person. He has really great morals and values. He loves his family. He's always been there for me when I've done stupid things, when I've made big life changes. He may not always agree with them, but he's the kind of person that will always show me love. And I think that that's where I get my compassion, my heart. Same with my mom. Like, she's also the same kind of person. She is a loving person. She cares about everybody around her. She puts everybody else before herself. And I get that from her too. So I think that's also why I've been able to be so connected with our community and even with our team, is because I have the same characteristic traits as my stepdad and my mom, because that's how I was raised. I was raised to care about people, to always see the good in people, to never assume ill intent of people, and to always try to make the people around me better if I can. So, yeah.
Love that.
All right, last question for you.
Righty.
For the women listening who are working on becoming stronger physically and mentally, what's 1% shift they could start making today that would create real momentum in their lives?
There's so many different key components to that. If I had to pick one thing, get a coach and be open-minded. Without those two things, it's going to be very tough to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
And that's anything in life.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
We live in a world to where a lot of people are looking for the easy way out.
Yeah.
And sometimes the easy way out is not always the sustainable way, that's going to get you where you want to go long term, right? So once you make that initial jump and that key decision that this is what you're going to do, and these are the things that you're going to do to get to where you want to be, you don't ever want to be in that place again.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you start to go through this roller coaster that can really affect you physically and mentally and emotionally and spiritually. So it can really delay your progress, right? And then you're going to look up and you're like, oh man, 10 years went by and we've always had those moments where like, I should have done this, right? I could have done that differently. But no, if you're listening to your instincts and this is a decision that you're going to commit to, I mean, we're finishing up, Q1 of 2026, right? You still have 3 other quarters to go, 3 quarters and a half, right? So it's not too late to make that shift. But you have to have the right people on your side, which is, the LadyStrong Fitness community, both team members and other members in both locations, right? Because you're going to get that same feel out of both locations, and be willing to hold yourself accountable and take that risk.
I love that.
So I would say, just start with those two things, hold yourself accountable, take that jump, and I swear you will not regret it.
Yeah. And I like how you put it out, like having a coach and getting surrounded by people isn't just about just fitness, like anything in life. Like, I just feel like no matter what you do in life, it's like the ultimate cheat code is to find the person that is where you want to be and then get connected with them, get as close to them as you possibly can. If you can hire them, do it. But if not, learn from them on their social media or in their ecosystem and just get connected, because that is just the ultimate riding somebody's coattails and like just getting there faster. And you can do that in fitness. You can do that in business. You can do that in your work life, in your career. You can do that anywhere you go. Don't try to do it alone. You've got to find somebody to help you. And I think a lot of people struggle to ask for help. But it's like, just ask for help. Like, just ask. It doesn't make you weak to ask for help. So, yeah.
I agree.
Okay, I'll take one more question from you and then we're done.
All right.
Last one.
Let's see. This is a good closing one.
Yes.
When all this is said and done, and you're sitting back and you're 80 years old, right? And you're in Marcia, just, I guess, reliving to where what you guys have done over the years. What would you say you will want your legacy to be, and the one thing that you will want to say that you accomplished?
I want my legacy to be somebody who genuinely cared when the world around people felt like nobody else did. I feel like I meet a lot of people in moments that they feel like they're lost, they're uncertain, they're scared, they're just at a low. And I want to be the light. I want LadyStrong to be the light in a lot of people's rooms that feel dark to them. So legacy-wise, I just want to be looked at. I want somebody to stand over my casket one day and be like, she changed my life for the better. She changed my life for the good. She broke generational curses. She broke, a lot of things and changed my life. That's what I want. As far as legacy goes. And then the one thing that I would say I want like LadyStrong to be known for is a safe place for women, a safe space to be authentically who they are in every form and facet. I think women in general are held to a crazy standard. I think a lot of people make a lot of assumptions about how women should be or shouldn't be, how they should act, how they should not act, how they should speak, how they should not speak, how they should work out and how they should not work out, how they should dress, how they should not dress. And I don't think that any of that lives in the walls of LadyStrong Fitness. And that is what I want to be known for, is a safe space for women to be authentically who they are.
Bang.
Bang.
I love that.
Yes, that was a great one to end
amazing.
on. All right, ladies, thank you so much for tuning in. Leish, thank you for joining us today.
Of course.
And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Women Behind the Weights podcast. We hope you found inspiration and valuable insights from today's episode. If you enjoyed the conversation, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your support helps us reach more women like you. Don't forget to connect with us on social media for behind-the-scenes content and to join our growing community. Remember, we're all in this together, and every step you take brings you closer to your goals. Until next time, keep lifting those weights and your voices. You've got this.